welcome back. It's another episode of Venture Maidens. Hey, howdy. Welcome. If you are new to the channel, hey, we're the Venture Maidens. We're a D&D actual play stream that converts to a podcast. That's the business. I'm really excited to dive in. We've got a lot of fun stuff happening. Last time we were experimenting with some Downtime Rules and, that big section of the DMG that doesn't get a lot of love, so it's been an interesting time, and we're going to continue playing with some of those mechanics today. But yes, I'm thrilled to be here. Episode 20. That's a big one. 2 decades. How are y'all feeling? What's up? You good?
Yeah, I'm loving it, man.
Yeah, it's good.
I feel like we're like young career women.
We are.
We're starting. We're getting our foot in the door with the right people. We're
businesses.
Getting names.
Yeah, we've got a venue.
Yeah.
We've got food. We've got fashion.
It's lining up with the trajectory of life.
Yeah,
pretty well.
Yeah, we're paving the way. Who knows what will happen in our mid-20s crisis, but it'll be fine. We'll figure it out. But yes, we're going to learn more today about how that goes. But before we dive in, I do want to say this is a rated M for mature stream. You can expect standard themes of fantasy, violence, gore, body horror from time to time. In particular, we don't... the only content warning we have is potentially references to self-harm for this evening's episode. So if that is something that you can't deal with this evening, this may not be the show for you to watch. But other than that, I think that's it. I think that's the business. So let's go ahead. Let's get started. Dive in. Hey, everybody. My name is Celeste Konowich, and tonight I will be your dungeon master.
Hello, I am Katie, and I'm going to be playing your drow rogue, Luverius Saft.
Hello, I'm Nassim, and I'm going to be your half-orc fighter, Tony Silvertail.
Yeah.
Hello, and I am your bubbly bard, fresh from the Champagne Bubbles week.
Oh, God. Yeah, you were just hungover for a week. Yay. I guess you're 16, so you probably weren't hungover. You ass.
Those were the days.
Yes. But yeah. All right, sweet. Well, we are diving back into the action at Coven. We spent last episode covered about a week's worth of downtime. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Downtime Rules in 5th edition, they are rules that basically support what adventurers might get up to in between, adventures. So there are a lot of different options. Specifically, the ones we are using are detailed in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. It's like the Downtime Expanded Rules. So it's got a bunch of cool options of what you can spend your time doing, whether it be working or carousing or researching, which is something that a lot of us have opted to do since we have to find this archfey, figure out where the hell this book is, and figure out some way to get it back to the Weird Sisters before the full moon. So that's just some set dressing. But before we can dive into today, we should talk about what happened. What happened last time? How did that all go? You guys, the recap. Let's do it.
So we began getting, basically when we got back to the chicken hut after crossing the river from the Weird Sisters Demesne back into the chicken hut, and we all split up for some time, enjoyed a couple hours as we were traveling back to Coven, ready to try and research to figure out where it is that we can find Penelope and this Enigma Codex that we need to retrieve for Hecate.
Penny,
yes.
Penelope.
Penelope. Goodness. Penny. Yes, Penny. So yeah, we headed back to Coven. Aoife made a new room in the house that mimics her grandmother's craft room back home, and yeah, Lou made snacks for us, and then Tony tended to all the plants and everything after we had a letter from Tandy, who said that she needed, or there is a community garden that she's now taking an interest into again, and was wondering if we could come by and help out because it would be really cool and stuff. And so after we had gone to Coven, we all made our separate ways, with Aoife taking a week to just carouse and called in her big favor from the Mistress of Silks to be like, hey, introduce me, take me to all the parties that you go to and all of your functions, and introduce me to, the Witches of Coven and everyone. So she spent the week schmoozing while Tony cleared out the garden for Tandy, and Lou did some asking about around town. Who did you find out about?
What are you getting about?
I found I found out about a guy named Tortimor. Tortimor, right?
Yeah, Tortimor.
Is his name, and Tortimor. He's basically like an antique book merchant. And since we were finding out, Penny is somebody who loves to read, we figured that would be a good lead, and also potentially a good place to find a book that we could trade, since we definitely don't want to be fighting this lady because she will murder us.
Accurate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tony's adventures in the garden led to like a fat sack of gold bars.
Oh, hell yeah. Talk about damned. Yeah. You found jackpot.
Yeah. Yeah, very much hit the jackpot that Tandy wasn't aware, or maybe just didn't care that she was sitting on top of, and gave it to Tony for working and clearing out her garden, which then she gave after the week's work to Lou and Rook to go take into the city, I think Chasiana, and see if they can actually get usable coins and money for us to do more research and stock up our own coffers.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
But myself and Aoife stayed behind and immediately had a party the second that Lou and
oh, yes, we
Rook
ended
walked
with a
out
house
the
party,
door.
of course, yeah. Oh, yeah. Chaos.
We're playing beer pong.
Oh,
Yeah. Gordon can hang
Incredible.
too because, I mean,
he has to be
oh,
there.
Gordo.
He has to be
I
there.
just have a feeling he would feel like he didn't belong at that party, but he'll help clean up, I'm sure.
This is your one shot, man.
Yeah, be cool, Gordon. Be cool.
Be cool.
He wasn't cool.
He was not cool. Sweet.
Gordon has no chill, confirmed.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. Great summary of what happened last time. So that is where we are going to dive in. Last time we had just wrapped up all of the activities from week 1, which means that we have 2 weeks left of downtime ahead of us. So last time we made some real progress. Both Aoife and Lou spent time researching in very different ways, getting, schmoozing with Fae High Society. Some of us were visiting antique booksellers and figuring things out. But you had managed to learn quite a bit about what was happening with Penny and with the Enigma Codex, 2 very mysterious figures that have now suddenly become very important to you. And Tony had been able to make a little bit of cash and set herself up with a pretty sweet community garden that is going to be a great resource for making potions, potentially a venue for Lou to open her food truck and run things back there. So it's looking pretty good. But before we officially launch into new stuff and declare what we're going to be doing for week 2, I did want to ask you all if we could summarize so far what we have learned about Penny and the Enigma Codex, because it's going to be very important what we know and what we don't know. So what do you all remember?
So we know that, oh goodness, as I just throw my phone onto the ground. So we learned that Penny, that her full name is Penny Dreadful, and that she is one of these archfey who are these powerful, incredibly powerful creatures that like harvest magic, like pure magic from the land itself. And so as a result, their very being just changes the landscape around them, and sometimes that's fine, but sometimes that's also not. And so they have to be contained within these dwellings, which contains their magic within them and also keeps other people out. And so Penny is one of these archfey who's absolutely obsessed with mortal books and and mortals in general, and all of the little things and the little schemes that they do. And so yeah, we know.
Yeah. And she was obsessed with a town that
Mhm.
was, or not fond. She was fond of it, not obsessed with it. Except the town full of changelings, Storyville.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's a place in between the regions of the wilds, and she went there all the time. And it's a good place to start for us, at least, if she is to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do you all
Mhm.
remember about
And we found out.
changelings? What are changelings?
Uh,
They're kids that were stolen or kidnapped from by the Fae, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
mortals.
they're like, I want a baby. I'll
Mhm.
steal a human.
Mhm.
And then they kind of like change and are affected by the magic of the Feywild. So they become this like crazy magic being
Magic hybrid thing.
from being just, yeah.
And Faye being very mercurial eventually get bored of having this child and then you just kind of leave it somewhere. And so,
Best case, leave it somewhere.
changelings have very poor relation. Yeah. So not many changelings have very positive relationships with their parental figures. So
Mhm.
they tend to cloister among themselves. And so there's this changeling village called Storyville where we heard that she was rumored to frequent.
Cool. What else did you learn?
We learned that since Penny was like so into reading, if anybody's going to know more about the Enigma Codex, the book that we're after, we're going to need to talk to Tortimor, who is going to be like this old antique book dealer in Coven, who was still around when Penny was out and about picking up her books.
Like a
And
century
he
ago.
lives in,
Yeah.
yeah, like a long ass time ago. And so we know that he lives in the Sunnyside district, which is like kind of like upper middle class, not the highest end, but still really well off in Coven.
Hell yeah.
And
Cool.
as far as we know,
Yeah.
or what we've heard, is that Penny is rumored to be dead, but that has neither been confirmed nor denied, definitely. So
yeah. Damn archfey, just so hard to find. Great. All right. So with all of that in mind, let's go ahead and declare what we are doing for week 2. So I know, obviously, Lou, you are taking Rook and you are heading to Chasiana, right, to fence those gold bars that Tony got, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So are you taking the house with you? Because that's the fastest way to travel. Definitely the easiest way and probably the safest way to travel.
Yeah, a combination of that, and also if we take the house, then they can't trash the house while we're gone. And I want to get back as soon as possible.
You had a very mini party, you guys,
Just-
before.
Yeah. Threw the rug out from under us. We were putting the chips on the table, and we're like, we were
I
just
had
gonna
4
sit down
different
and watch
kinds
a
of
movie.
salsa, you monster.
She picks up the bowl of chips. Are these store bought
What did you do?
in my house?
Oh my God.
didn't want to bother you.
This stinks of plotting.
Amazing. So Tony and Aoife, where are you gonna go stay?
I guess we'll
At
stay at the
the
Witch's
Witch's
Brew with
Brew.
Tandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tandy has said if you ever need anywhere to stay, she is more than happy to have you.
And we know Tandy likes to party, so
Yeah.
I'm sure we're having a good time anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Aunt Tandy.
Yeah. Yay, mom, Tandy fun mom. Very cool. Okay. And then looking at, so Tony, I think last time you mentioned you wanted to brew potions over the week. Is that still what you want to do?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna start utilizing all those beautiful herbs that we've planted in the courtyard garden.
Sweet. And then Sage, you mentioned for Aoife, we had a few different options here. So with everything in mind, what would you like to do? I know we mentioned working in the dress shop or making the outfit submission that you need to send into Chasiana. We do also need a little bit more research done. So what's your plan?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Since we are a few bits of information short of figuring out exactly where to go with a solid lead, Aoife is going to follow up with seeking out Tortimor up in the Sunnyside district. Make a little house call.
A little house call visit. Okay, sweet. All right. And of course, like, same rules as last time. If over the course of this we find, like, maybe somebody fails a roll or something and we want to change our action, we can absolutely do that. Just as well, like, if you all want to have a scene of what is happening to support the roles that are going on, let me know, shout it out. We can act through a scene. I might have some that I want to do. But yeah, what order? Who do we want to start with, I guess? So y'all can decide how you want to play
I
that.
can go first because mine doesn't really affect what we're doing at all. So I can just get mine out of the way, basically, to see if I can find, somebody to melt down the bars and sell everything.
Yeah, because
And also
the
that'll
problem
tell us
is
how much money I'm coming back with.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the problem, as a reminder, each of those bars was stamped with the royal treasury seal of the Eldrin Empire, which means that these are the treasury bars that sit in the royal bank vault and support the economy, right? So they're not exactly legal to be walking around with, and this is, however the hell Tandy got this. Whoa, that's a whole story. So selling them is going to be quite difficult. Finding somebody to actually take something this hot and make a profit. Cool. Yeah. All right, and then who do we want to go second, do we think? Between Tony and Aoife.
I'll go second because also I'm just making potions.
Nice. All right. Cool. And then love that. All right. So then, Lou, for you, I figured like the best fit in terms of the downtime rules was like selling a magic item because it is difficult because you can't just walk up into a shop and be like, here is this incredible thing. Please have the money and don't ask questions about where I got it. So that's going to be an issue.
Look at this. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah. You want this? What the without
Don't
getting
flip it over. Don't flip it over.
Yeah, without getting the cops called on you. Good luck. So what is just give me a summary, like what is your plan for how you're going to do this? Because you do have contacts, obviously, in Chauciana. Your mom is very well connected, but there's still going to be some hoops to jump through. So what is Lou's plan? And then we'll roll to see how the plan actually goes.
Yeah, so Lou is probably going to go back home, discuss with Frida what she thinks the best person is going to be, because it's really going to be dependent on who has the tools at their disposal at this current moment to do it. But I think ultimately with gold that is going to be as pure as the gold you're getting from the motherfucking treasury, it would be smart to try to find somebody who's doing fine jewelry, because she also finds it ironic to give it back to the rich bastards they were stolen from. But make them pay more. So that's the goal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're looking for somebody who has connections to like fine jewelry or artisanal arts. So probably your best lead is going to be one of the merchant halfling families that run Chauciana through money. Halflings in the world of the plains, there are no such things as wild halflings anymore in the continent that the Empire covers. Halflings used to be found in the same places as like gnomes and dwarves, so in the hills and mountains. But when the Empire first started, they saw opportunity and ran for the cities. And now halflings have this reputation as being part of these vast networks of like merchant families and own probably 70% of all the thriving businesses in the Mother's Delta. So you have absolutely established some connections, because if there's anyone who wants to make a quick coin and then also stick it to the Eldrin, it's going to be the halflings. So, so part one, I figured we'd do two kind of rolls here to see how this goes. The bars themselves, you are at minimum, like base market value would get like 50 gold pieces per bar. We established last time, but you can potentially earn up to 200% of that ish, based on how well you do here. So for the first roll, let me see. I wrote this down. I wrote it down. Okay. So what kind of check do you think you would make for finding the right person. So this isn't actually interfacing with this person, but we'll start one. We're going to have to spend about 25 gold pieces in bribes and getting information and greasing the right palms. So right off the bat, subtract that amount.
Okay, well, we'll have to see how much I actually left you guys then, because I was going to leave everything, but I forgot I have to pay for shit.
Yep.
So, let me minus 25 GP. Okay. Yeah, so I think that I'd like to do investigation, just based on all of the like files that the family has on the people that they do business with.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like going through all the potentials and sussing out who's going to be the best fit for this.
Okay. Yeah, I dig it. So go ahead and make me that investigation check and see how you do to find this person.
Okay. Investigation plus 6. So that is going to be a 16.
Okay. So you feel like you have a pretty solid handle on just looking at the business dossiers that your family keeps of notable characters in the city. And you circle around until you find a business that they're not doing great and they've had some issues in the past, some run-ins with the law and connections to the halfling family. So you think you have a target in mind. And then the next phase of this check is going to be so selling magic items requires a charisma persuasion check, my dear, so there's that. But I will say you do have Rook with you. So if you would like to swap in Rook's charisma intimidation check, you can absolutely do that instead of yours. But the risk is it might go poorly if it goes poorly.
Okay. Well, yes, but before we go out, I'm going to make her a nice lunch so that she gets inspiration on her check.
What do you make? What do you make, Rook? Who hates what is this? What is this? She's looking at a plate. What is it?
It's not a plate. It is a stein.
Oh, good. Okay. She brightens up.
Yeah, it is. It's a stein of mead that she has been experimenting with since alcohol's not really her thing typically, but she wanted to work on doing like a lavender honey mead because she loves those flavors. So she breaks it open and she's like, okay, so I'm gonna give you this liquid courage that I've made. It's just for you. I've never fed it to anyone, so I'm hoping that it's good. But I've had a lot of tips from people in Chasiana, and they helped me. But it's gonna be great. Don't worry.
You're being a little weird about this drink. I don't know what doesn't.
I'm
really
nervous. I usually know what it's gonna be like when I feed it to people, but I'm uncorking it for the first time.
Saying
so
feed it to me like that. That's so weird. What you made this? What is it? What am I drinking?
Yeah. It's mead. Don't worry.
She uncorked it.
It's honey lavender.
Specifically.
It
smells like candles.
What? Really? She leans in and smells it too. She's like,
it's a little lavendery on the nose.
I don't know what kind of candles you normally have. Maybe it's like empty mead cups around your room and then also a candle, but just try it, please. And also it's great that you're here because I know you're not going to lie to me if it sucks ass.
She looks at you and sighs and picks it up and takes a quick swig and kind of okay. It's actually not bad.
But it's not great.
I wouldn't not drink it.
Okay. She takes out a notepad and starts taking notes.
What are you writing?
Anyway.
Was this a test? Wait, did I fail? Whatever. She puts it back in your hands.
It's a test for me. It's a test for me. Okay. So we're going to go. These people are keen on business and talking to people, and I am not. So I really need you to put your fucking foot down if they start trying to take control of the conversation.
She pops her knuckles and is like, all right, a language I speak. And she will follow behind you. All right, Rook. Here, why don't you go ahead and roll this, and let me just double check. Rook, being an ex-fey, has quite a good charisma, shockingly. So she gets a +8 to this roll. So why don't you go ahead and roll that d20?
Okay, +8 you said?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a dirty 20.
Oh, shit. Nice. So yeah, the conversation is going and you all are dancing around the subject for a really long time, and it feels like this merchant is starting to give you the runaround, and at some point Rook slams down an elbow on that glass case that has a bunch of stuff, and these little like spider fracture patterns come in, and she like grabs the guy's collar and looks at you like with those eyes that's just like begging for you to let her do something.
Lou is like a little taken aback, but then she just gives like a short little nod, like, do the thing.
Yeah, and needless to say, the conversation gets a lot easier after that point. And because you did find a good mark, and because you succeeded on this check, you didn't get the best roll possible. So you're not getting 175% or whatever, but you will get 150% of the base price. So you are going to get 750 gold pieces for fencing, which is lit. So great job. You managed to pass off those hot goods, and you're coming home with quite a hefty little paycheck there.
Hell yes. Thank you, Rook. Because that would have been really bad if I had to make a charisma check.
You should let me kill him. She's walking down the store picking glass out of her knuckles. All right, sweet. So things are going well over there. So let's go ahead and Tony, jump to you. What is your potion making setup? Also, do you have proficiency in a herbalism kit? I just want to double check.
Proficiency?
Yes.
That's something I might take a sec to look up.
Okay.
I don't know if I do.
It feels like something you would have
What would it
had.
require to... I mean, I'm proficient with... Oh, wait, I'm not. I was going to say nature, but I'm not.
No, that's okay.
Survival?
Yeah. So a herbalism kit and toolkits and stuff, it's usually your background that gives you a proficiency or two, and on your character sheet, it's on the left-hand side, it's in proficiencies. I don't know if as a fighter or what is the background you ended up picking? Was it soldier?
Outlander.
Outlander. Okay, then I think that is an option for the Outlander. If not, why don't you tell me what you're proficient in? And we can swap one for herbalism kit, because I think that feels...
Well, I don't even... Where will I find that in the actual PHP? Because I don't think I wrote that down.
Oh, okay. Then you go to the backgrounds section and look at Outlander. Here, I can pull it up too.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, no, it's a musical instrument that they're proficient with.
Okay, but you have used that.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because I have a guitar.
Gotcha. Okay, so I think you can definitely get a herbalism kit, and it would make sense to me with your history and your background that you would at least have some kind of familiarity with it.
Yeah, isn't that what my mom gave me? It was an herbalism kit with a necklace?
No, she just gave you the necklace.
Oh, it's just the necklace. Okay.
Yeah, but I think you can find at least a set of these, and you're not going to be great at it, but maybe with practice it'll happen. So I'm going to give you a penalty to your check because you're supposed to be proficient with this, but I think we'll work around it.
Okay.
So where is Tony even starting? Because to brew potions, you're going to need a lot of space. You're going to need some kind of vessels, things to heat things up, like to gather components. You're going to need quite a bit of a station here.
I think I'm probably being real friendly and chummy with Tandy while I'm staying with her and using as much of the bar equipment as I can
Oh, nice.
to
Yeah.
create my setup, like spare glasses during the slow hours of the day.
Yeah.
You know, like their flight rack things to hold up my different attempts and
Amazing.
potions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Tandy
playing around with family
Tandy will
recipes.
see you doing this and she's like, "Oh my god, are you a mixologist?"
In a way, I mean, I'm trying to help more than you know, inebriate
Oh, okay.
with these concoctions.
Well, could you do inebriating too? Because then you could just like do it right here. That'd be really exciting, right?
In the bar?
Yeah. It's like performance art.
Well, for extra coin, sure. If you wouldn't mind me, if I'm meant to serve other people, if that's what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I guess. Here I have and
Yeah,
she like
sure.
bangs the cash register and is like, "Oh, here's some coins."
God, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but
No.
okay.
Okay,
I
fine.
was just like, I'll have quiet alone time outside in the garden, brewing my potions, but I'll help out in the bar too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just let me know what you need.
Sure. Yeah.
She gives you
how
carte
about-
blanche to use anything you find behind the bar.
Okay, beautiful. Any books back there on potions, healing potions? I don't know why there would be, but just in case she looks.
Books? Yeah, she's looking around like, I don't think so. We sort of
Alright, don't worry.
go with the flow here. Books are just really constricting. You know what I mean.
Right, a lot of clutter. I get it.
Yeah, and then paper and and she looks at her, she points at herself like paper.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
How? Yeah, that wouldn't be right. I get it.
Right. So silly.
I'll
Anyway,
stick to my kit.
Yeah, go for it. Okay, so you apparently you have free reign of the bar. You are expected to do some kind of mixology performance, I guess. Who knows what that means? And you're not
Tony
quite,
doesn't, so
quite
she's
sure how to use a herbalism kit. So this is going to be a lot of factors. So so the way crafting potions work is that you have to spend quite a bit of money just to get those ingredients. So to represent things like special herbs or containers or energy output, you are getting this at a bit of a reduced rate since you have a lot of the herbs in-house. But you kind of have two options here. So over the course of a week, it would cost roughly 100 gold before your discount, and you could make one greater healing potion, which is a 44 plus 4, so pretty sweet potion. Or over the course of the week, you could try to make 5 just common healing potions, which are each 2d4 plus 2, and would cost 25 gold pieces each. So you're looking at potentially 125 gold pieces for 5 small potions, or all week for one big potion that it cost 100 gold pieces.
I think now that we've had to spend some gold already and we'd like to leave Aoife with some to do her thing, I'll be doing the 5 standard potions.
Okay. Yeah, just so you can spread them out. Makes some sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so 125 gold pieces, and I'll say with your sweet discount, you get like a 20% discount because you got a lot of herbs in the backyard. So this is going to be 100 gold pieces worth of materials and effort. And I think some of that is going to be time you have to spend trying to do mixology, or maybe breaking herbalism tools because you don't quite know how to use them yet. So it's every time you turn around, you're breaking something because you heated it up too much, or you scratch something that really needed to be in place, but you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
process.
bit, it's a bit of like, high school chemistry. I feel like the first time you ever take it, you're like, damn, dude, what is even happening right now? Something explodes, but people clap whenever it does.
She's using it. It's part of the performance art.
Yeah. So I think this is kind of rocky. So the check is going to be pretty high here. But what do you think Tony would use to persevere through these efforts to keep going in the face of all of these challenges? What kind of skill do you think you'd use?
I wish I had a reason for it to be athletics.
That
But
doesn't really.
I think survival makes more sense.
Yeah.
Learning from the mistakes she's making so far, it's like, oh, clearly this is too hot. This would probably kill someone, things like that.
Or choosing to, like, maybe I'll start with these ingredients that I'm pulling, and that kind of basic knowledge and perseverance seems like I buy it. I buy it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and roll me that check and see how well this goes.
14.
Okay. It's pretty good. You feel like the first few days especially, and trying to balance whatever the hell Tandy expects you to do, which it's very stressful, and you feel probably like a disappointment against your mom, who's this like great herbalist, and you're busting up her tools, and this is like but I think it's around day 3 or 4 where something clicks for you and you realize, oh, Tandy has 0 expectations, so I can do literally anything, and people love it. So 1, that's like 1 stress that goes away. And 2, you realize that in the kit that you got from your mom, she included multiples of everything. It was like a starting, like an expectation, right? Like it's okay to mess up. That just sort of makes sense to you, and you're starting to get into the rhythm of it. And finally you achieve that deep red health potion color you're looking for on day 4, and you're like, finally, yes! It's progress. It is progress. So I'm gonna say,
Mom, you're still the best teacher even when you're not here.
Even when you're not here. This is the extra things, the little extra cushion she built in. So I'm going to say you don't get all 5. I think one of them is just a product of, it doesn't quite work, but you do manage to get 4 healing potions, which is awesome. So that is, again, for the notes, those are 2d4 plus 2 for each of those. And you successfully managed to brew 4. So hell yeah.
Nice.
And you've learned a lot, so you think it will be easier for you to do next time. You've lowered the difficulty for yourself.
Yes.
Yes. Hell yeah. All right. And then we come to so young Aoife. So
yes.
Research for
Indeed.
All right. What is the plan?
So So we know he's retired from the rare book trades.
Right.
And he's
so he used to be
to his manor.
Yeah, used to be a big deal in Coven, operated his own bookshop, and like it was all very exclusive, rare tomes. The kind of stuff when you go into a bookstore, they keep it behind glass. That kind of book dealing. Yeah.
So I guess she would begin by asking around town to see, like, is there something that he frequents? Does he go to a particular cafe every morning to go get, his mocha or whatever, to find an occasion where, oh my gosh, I just happened to run into you. Wow, you're so interesting. Let me talk your ear off real quick.
Yeah. Cool. Good. Yeah. So as part of research, as a reminder, up front, you have to spend a bit to basically be in the right places, ask people these questions, make sure that you have the right gifts and whatever you need to get this information. So that is going to be 50 gold pieces of materials, bribes, gifts, and other expenses. So what is our pool? What is our pool at now, Treasurer? Because Lou is gone, we're getting down there, aren't we?
Yeah, so you used, what was it, 125?
Yep.
The same. So we are at 700. Well, that's not with my stuff. So 50 for Aoife.
Okay. So yeah, going down. So you're getting down there in funds, Aoife. So as you're paying out these bribes and stuff, you're like, oh, okay. Hopefully this works because you're running out of cash fast until Lou gets back. And you do find out some helpful information. Well, sort of. You learn that Tortimor is quite reclusive, especially in the last couple of decades. He has gotten really up there in age, so he has a couple of servants who run tasks for him and bring back things like food, and he doesn't see a lot of people, but it does seem like every once in a while, if there is a client who is interested in buying something from his private collection or needs something appraised, he does on occasion make these one-on-one appointments in his house because it is difficult for him to leave in his advanced years.
Okay. So she would...
Yeah, and as part of that 50 gold pieces, you could absolutely set yourself up as like a prospective client or something.
Yeah, so she would definitely, write a little letter of introduction of like, I'm in search of, some particular tomes, and I've heard that you're the person to ask. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, and you'll get a
Fits
very
on.
polite little response back. A courier will show up and hand off a note at the witch's brew, presumably where you're hanging out. And yeah, you get an appointment. It's like an afternoon on a Saturday. You can come by. You're invited to the townhouse to go see Tortimor and talk business.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, she dons her dark academia look, which has a lot of plaids and like heavy
Amazing.
wool cardigans.
Amazing.
And like pulled up, really high socks and little booties.
Let's just say it's raining because, sure.
Of course. She's got a little beret on.
Yeah. Incredible.
And nerdy glasses.
Incredible.
Oh, yeah.
The scarf that's too long wrapped around a million times.
Mm-hmm.
Remarkable. Yeah, so you roll up to this house, and I would like to have this be a scene as we're walking into here. So you move through the streets of Sunnyside, and you've been here before. You realize that Sunnyside is the same district in which Silk, Mistress Silk's dress shop is.
Yes.
So you have been here before. It's one of those districts in town that is catered towards tourists, towards higher end wealthy tourists. So you see things like tasting rooms and shops with beautiful window displays, but not a lot for actual sale in the shops. This is where people go to do business. There are a couple rows of these very fashionable townhouses that clearly affluent or other wealthy people would stay at. You would probably recognize, Silk might have pointed out to you that a lot of the witches' council actually stays and has houses in this district. So it is clearly Tortimor has quite a bit of money. So he must have done well for himself in his day. And as you walk on up to the house, you see there's like neat little manicured potted plants out front, and it's a very cute Victorian style tall townhouses like you see in quintessential San Francisco, right?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Painted like a
lady
cheerful
vibes
blue.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, she will dutifully jaunt up the little stairs and knock politely.
Yeah, and as you do, it takes no time at all for the door to open before you, and you see a small lizard-like individual. Has Aoife ever seen a kobold before?
Probably not.
No. So then it stands, the creature in front of you stands about 3 foot tall, with green scaly skin and a long snout, and they're wearing a very dapper black and white house servant uniform. And they look up at you and go, "Madam, how can I help you?"
Yes, I have an appointment here with Tortimor. He's here. I'm Aoife Flannery. I'm a prospective buyer.
Yes. Of course, the master is expecting you. Please, step inside. It will be just a moment. May I? It reaches out his small arms to take your coat and hat.
Oh yeah, she spends a full minute unwinding the scarf from her neck, and then
He kind of helps.
plops his coil.
Yeah, make sure nothing falls on the floor with his like slender claws. As just this huge pile of fabric. Very good. Very good. Yes, I will be right back. And it kind of bumps into a wall and looking over this tall pile and scurries up the long stairs to the main living area. And you hear some bumps and thumps and voices being exchanged before this kobold appears once again and scurries back down the stairs. You may enter, and points up the stairs.
She will dutifully head up the stairs.
Yeah, it suddenly occurs to you why it might be difficult for someone of advanced years to get out of this house with these tall, narrow stairs leading up. So, so you make your way up, and at the top of these stairs is a beautiful parlor-style room. There are all kinds of just interesting things hanging on the walls, from oil paintings to strange model ships to mounted like animal heads, and it's really interesting. Whoever lives here has accumulated a lot of treasures over a lifetime, and there's lots of stylish modern furniture strewn about this place. You can see a grand piano in one corner and these tall bookshelves that ring the room. They look like standard books here, so probably not the rare stuff is kept somewhere else. But as you step into this room, you hear a scraping and a shuffling sound coming from a door on the far end. And a humanoid turtle person walks out of the door on the other side. And they might have stood about 5 feet tall or so in their heyday, but now this being is stooped and ancient. You can see even beyond like normal tortoises. When you look at them, they have very wrinkly little faces, and this is just even beyond that. You can see the little snout just like quivering up in the air and looking at you through these tiny round spectacles as a cane helps drag across the floor. And this turtle person fixates on you and says, "You are Aoife, correct?"
That's me. It's a pleasure to meet you, Tortimor.
Welcome to my home. Please, would you like a snack? And he waves a clawed hand towards like a beautiful tea tray that has been laid out on one of the side tables.
And I'll just help myself to a wee spot of tea. Can I fix one for you?
Oh yes, very kind. 2 sugars, please. No milk.
She's a tiny teaspoon.
It has been quite a while since I've had a visitor. You're looking for something, yes? The name escapes me. What was it again?
Yes, so she passes off this saucer and teacup to him. It's a very rare tome, and I've heard of potentially the last known author, but I thought, with rumors of her death, that maybe someone else has picked it up. But I'm looking for the Enigma Codex.
It's been a while since I've heard that name before. It's, to my knowledge, merely a legend. Why would a young satyr such as yourself be interested in such a book?
Well, to be perfectly honest, my friend found herself in a wee spot of debt, and she's required to fetch this in order to pay that off. And so I'm doing my part in that I can to help her find it.
Well, I'm sorry, young miss. I only deal in certainties. something I like about books. They're tangible, real. Fairy tales may be contained within their pages, but you can always count on books. And he's looking at you with these kind of watery brown eyes, seeming to try and tell something about you. You're not really sure.
And she nods and she says, I quite agree. It's why I like working with my hands. I'm a seamstress, and when we can really manipulate and change the world around us to record something, it's that special. There's power in that. But I wonder, if you don't have it, if you might be able to at least tell me about it, so we at least know where to look, what we're in for at least.
Why don't you go ahead and give me an insight check? Because this guy's giving you some really weird vibes.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I get to use my brand new set of dice.
Ooh, yes! You got, like, themed character dice.
Indeed. They're so pretty. All right. Ooh, nice. And they did not do me wrong. So that is... Oh my gosh, where is this skill? That is a 21.
Okay. So what you're reading from him is caution, certainly. This is whatever he's holding back. It's not out of pure, like, obstinance or curiosity or something. You feel like he's doing it intentionally until he can get the measure of you and know you can handle whatever he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
So you say that and take in his expression, and he says, listen, you seem very sweet, but I am a very busy man. There's so much to do before the end. You know how it goes. Trying to chronicle my long centuries has been the undertaking of, well, I suppose my lifetime. And I must do it before I go. So, if you would excuse me.
I am a very talented bard. I could certainly help you with that, if you're willing to share with me what you know.
How is your penmanship?
Oh, it's perfect. And she pulls out a crisp sheet of parchment paper, and she'll write out the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
And give me a performance check to see how well you how beautiful your penmanship is.
love it. Hell yes, 25.
Oh fuck, it's beautiful. Your cursive is just lit. And you hold it out to him, and he has to take it in his hands and move it very, very, very close to his face. And he looks at it and goes, well, I'll tell you what. You write a few lines for me here and there, and I'll look around and see. Perhaps there is something in my archives about this book. My memory is not what it used to be, so it might take me some time. I will get everything together and come here tomorrow, and we will begin.
Very good. You've got yourself a deal.
All right. So, Tortimor, over the next 3 or 4 days, essentially wants you to come to his house and help him as he tells you his memoir. You can see he has been in the process of writing this book for quite some time. And as he writes and you look at his notes, you see why it has taken so long. It's very slow going. He has all these papers scattered all over the place, and his vision, you can tell, is very poor. So it has been quite laborious to do so. So around day 2 or 3, you probably start to expect also he just really enjoys the company of having you over, and he starts to really warm up to you as the days pass. So I think you've set yourself up in a pretty good position here. So for this check, I'm going to go ahead and give you advantage on this. And then let's see, what is the actual check here? It is a I think it was a intelligence. Oh yeah, intelligence-based check. Just straight up intelligence.
Neat.
So
Alright.
and if you would like to spend extra money, so the way intelligence with +1 bonus per 50 gold pieces spent on top of what you would. So if you want to spend more cash, like bring him like donuts or something one day, whatever, you can do that.
I think we'll stick with the base 50.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. That is an 18 on the die with the flat +0, so 18.
Nice. Okay. So you are going to learn 2 pieces of lore with that success. So you come down to day 3 or 4 at this point, and you're starting to wonder if you're ever going to get to learn more information. And as you're finishing these last couple of sections or chapters for him, Tortimor comes dawdling back into the room. And he says, "My dear, I do appreciate all you have done, and it has been a delight having you. And you seem like a very nice person. And so I must ask you once again, are you sure you want to know more about this book? The last person who asked about it, I'm afraid the story is not a happy one."
If I know, at least I'll be satisfied in knowing the end of the story.
All right. Well, the Enigma Codex, it was not untrue when I said it is mostly a legend. I've never actually seen this book. It's talked about in stories, ancient stories, long since passed from this world, of a tome that contains every word ever written. This book, whenever a word is written, anywhere in the universe, it becomes contained within its pages. A remarkable thing, certainly. But
That's horrifying.
that kind of knowledge, it's... Well, as you can imagine, stories
It'll
are
drive
not
anyone
good.
crazy.
Yes, it's been said that those who read this book too deeply lose touch with what is real, what is fiction. It is a great and terrible thing to have so much knowledge at one's disposal.
I could see why Miss Penny Dreadful would want such a thing. You could stop hunting for all the books if they were all contained in one.
Oh,
Do
so
you know anything about her?
I was going to ask the same. It's remarkable that you said that. I was looking back through my notes, and she was the last person who asked about the book, and I don't know where she is or what became of her, but I did find this. And he very slowly walks across the room and finds like a little box that he comes back with, and it seems to be a file full of these paper handwritten receipts. And he goes through them and pulls out a couple of these yellowed ancient pieces of paper. I spoke with Miss Penny many times when my shop was open. She was a regular customer and a friend until she disappeared. But I would send shipments of books to her and to this address. And you can see written on the receipt, there is an address that reads, the Pendragon Inn, 16 Briar Rose Lane, Room 3, Storyville.
Nice. Excellent. We'll certainly pocket this, if you'll allow me.
Yeah, yeah, and he'll, he reaches out a hand as he does so, and it kind of lingers on yours for a moment. Nothing good has ever come from stories about this book. It would do
Well,
this old man's heart well to know that you will handle this carefully.
Well, I'm certainly glad that my task is not to read it, but to simply transport it. And, well, for the person who we're transporting to, that's her own business once we hand it off. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. I will be careful. She looks up to him.
Yeah. Well, it has been a delight. But I'm sure you have better things to do than hang around with an old turtle.
And she'll pat his hand back and she'll say, "Oh, it's been a delight. Now get to the next part where..."
Yeah. So you can, close out the day. And so you learned your 2 clues. Oh boy. So you know what the Enigma Codex does? Every word ever written appears in this book.
That's so creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, every word ever written everywhere, apparently, appears in this eldritch tome.
Why does Hecate want it?
Why? Yeah. So that's, concerning. And then, you have an address. So somewhere where this Penny used to receive book shipments. So who knows? It's at least a place to start.
Looking at the dates of the receipts, about how long ago was the last shipment?
Yeah, so 84 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting to find much, but at least we've got something concrete, as it were.
I mean, Fae don't age, and they really don't have any concept of time, so that could seem like no time. Or in Coven, they track a little bit more similar because there are so many mortals that live here. But outside of Coven or designated places, time literally does not exist in the wilds, which is one of the reasons mortals get transformed into changelings, because it's a paradox, right? As you're always aging, mortals age, but in the Feywilds, there's no time, so it's a whole thing. So who knows? That's like a blip, right? So who knows where she's gone or what she's up to. But yeah.
All right.
So hell yeah. And I will say that is all of the information that is available on Penny Dreadful. So you have done it. You have learned everything you could about the Enigma Codex.
Nice.
And Penny. So good shit. So you are as armed as you can be. Which is good. So yeah, that brings us to the end of week 2 then. I know last time we also talked about wanting to do a scene in between weeks, like a dinner party, right? To introduce Kell to everyone. Mm-hmm. Is that something we're still interested in doing?
Oh, yes, especially since Lou's coming back with all that money.
We're going to have a dinner. Yes. We're going to buy the good beef.
Go.
Or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You're a vegetarian. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is Kell a vegetarian? What are his dietary preferences? Does he have any allergies? This is important.
I don't think you would know, Aoife. Boy, that's a new relationship.
I don't know.
I guess I'll have to make 2 meals.
Yeah, you saw him drink coffee, and that's the extent of your knowledge. Yes.
Okay, so lattes with dessert. Got it.
Love it.
Okay, yeah, so what is how is that happening? Who is planning this party? Because also Aoife blurted out this. So is this something Lou and Tony are insisting on? Is this something Aoife wants to do? Where are we having this party? Are you involving Rook? Because that could be a thing.
I mean,
Rook is totally invited. No one is gonna force her to go, though. So
yeah, exactly. If she doesn't want to go, that's fine.
Probably if there's a back gathering room at the witch's brew, since we're not technically allowed to bring people back to the house.
Well, we use the pretty garden that Tony set
Oh,
up.
please.
Yeah.
I'm so ready to show off my stunning hard work. Come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rook
Time
will
for
not.
compliments.
Rook will not
Bring
go
it
to the
in.
witch's brew, so that's one thing.
That's a good point.
yeah. You
That's
don't
a good point.
worry
So,
about.
sorry, Rook. We'll bring you
No.
back some food or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, we'll come back. She probably doesn't even want to come.
Yeah, exactly.
She looks heartbroken when you say that.
No.
No, I mean, do you tell her?
Lies.
Because also,
Yeah, I mean,
it would be
we can.
easy to dance around it because the minute she gets back, she goes right back out there and is taking jobs again because she's very fixated on earning money and taking bounties while she is still in
In her
that
prime.
Oh, yeah.
ideal
How
age
much-
range.
How much does she earn in the meantime?
Oh yeah,
She was helping me
yeah.
this week.
so she didn't do anything. She was with me.
Yeah, she was protecting.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you all earned plenty.
We've done enough. No.
Yeah,
How
so
old
Aoife-
is Rook now?
So it's been 2
Ooh.
weeks. So let me see. So I have my age tracker. So Rook is okay. In episode 17, she was age 17. So she is 32
Oh, wow.
in her prime babe zone.
30, flirty, and thriving. 30, flirty, and thriving.
Yeah, man.
for about a week.
Said that so many times this year already.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in her absolute prime right now, which is I think one of the reasons she feels very full of energy and is just always on the go. And just she seems to be enjoying how powerful she feels at this moment.
Good for her.
She's also done like this cool like side shaved thing, and it's got like this awesome like
Braid mohawk.
baby
Oh,
thing going on.
so cool. I love her.
I already have so many crushes,
I
Celeste.
know. She looks like that super hot new Sith, I think, in Obi-Wan. Babe.
Yeah.
Total babe.
Yep.
Yep.
So, babe.
I imagine her like from the Horizon games.
Yeah. Step on me, babe. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Um.
Anyway, so Aoife is planning this party. So once Aoife gets when Tony gets to show Aoife the space one day to be like, yes, here's a spectacular garden. Aoife immediately throws together a board of like a cork board of like styling ideas and gets all these fabrics, and then she
Oh my
goes
God.
to
Pinterest, fantasy Pinterest.
yeah, oh my God, but
I love it.
now Pinterest in real life, and then she goes to imagine it, and she's like, I need all of these fabrics that I'm gonna buy for you, and by the way, you're having dinner, oh, and just bring your dads, that'll be great too, it'll be like one big family dinner. As she she will plan the whole thing.
Kell's like, oh, I'm meeting your friend, the adventuring friends with the danger and the swords and the yeah.
I mean, yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we're not gonna be like fighting anything, we're just gonna be like
Oh,
having
that's
dinner.
good. Yeah, okay. I can eat. That's within my wheelhouse. Great. Okay.
And bring your dads too if they want to come. It'll be cute. It'll be
Oh.
fun. It'll be so much fun.
I'm sure they'll want to. Yep, absolutely. Great. Okay. And wait,
They
where?
they
At,
They already know Marnie or Lou.
yeah. No. Oh no, they'll be there. You try to keep Bert away from a party. I dare you. Yeah, it doesn't work. Great. Can I bring anything? I make a nice brownies? Is that fine? I do.
And Aoife just shakes her head. She's like, Lou is really into cooking. She's like a professional cook. So I don't think you're ready to try and impress her like that. Just as a word of caution, maybe drinks. Drinks. That's a good idea.
Okay. Well, I mean, if she's hosting, I have to bring. I'll think of something.
And then, yeah,
I
you, like,
see a Katie
pinches
the
his
no.
cheeks with
Okay.
like her fingers and like it kisses him on the mouth, and she's like, I know you will.
Oh, his blue fuzz turns a little lavender with the red, in his cheeks, and he flips, the lock of black hair out of his face, and looks,
Dreamy.
that's inside. Okay, yeah, that'll be really fun. Great.
Yeah, it's kind of like holding his hand and like swinging it a little bit, and she's like, "Okay, well, in the meantime, let's go like do something fun. I'm tired of working." And yeah, she'll insist that they go like, stroll down look at the cute shops and the storefronts, and like have a little snack at a cafe. And yeah,
Hell yeah, and he'll take you around and take you to his favorite like tea shop, and you can walk around the square and listen to some live music, and it's cute as hell. You have a little
do all the
Parisian
proper
date.
night questions. Yes.
You both sit on a bench and stare at each other like, should we dance? No, you don't.
Should we-
I don't
no?
want to dance. No.
Should I paint a portrait of you
Awkward
in
little
the park?
teen
Is
love.
that what is the weird? Yeah.
Oh
No.
my God.
Yeah, we just
Are we
hang
making
out in the
out
park
too
for
much?
4 hours and do nothing but hang out in the park. Yeah. Good.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
You sit on a cute stoop somewhere. It'll be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Cute. So Lou, I should ask, what are you doing planning this party? Because Aoife clearly thinks she's planning the party, but I think Lou also
Planning
probably
it
thinks.
aesthetically.
Yeah.
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 I think that like there's a moment of excitement when the cork board comes out for Lou. But clearly Aoife's organization style is not the same as
Yes.
Lou's.
A little
Yeah.
different.
A little
So-
creative versus a little controlled. So
So-
It's more structure.
structure. That's a good word. Yeah, not controlling. Structured.
I appreciate and adore your creativity, but every single day when you're like, job done, I've done my section for today. The next day you come in and it's all still there, but completely reorganized in a way that makes sense. And she's got her own notebook and is just like finding dietary preferences, and getting an entire menu. And many times needs to be like, this is enough food for 45 people. What the fuck am I doing? I need to make more.
Yeah. What if everyone comes in the whole town comes? Yeah. And Tony, how are you contributing to this? Because it is your venue, so I imagine you probably have some say in or some opinions.
Oh,
about how
she's the
yeah.
decoration committee.
Nice.
Yeah, we're taking all of the trimmings and cuttings from sprucing up the garden and making bouquet after bouquet, like wreaths, all kinds of decorations, stringing up some lights or lanterns, and just getting the place real decked out. All together, we make a pretty fierce party plan.
Yeah, no, this is dope. This is
Our
gonna be
retirement
amazing.
Oh my
plan.
gosh, we should plan Fae weddings.
Yeah.
Don't
We
tell
have
me with a good
baby
motherfucking time.
Let's give up bounty hunting and just do event planning.
This is the campaign now, Celeste. We're
We're-
Fae
this
wedding
is
planners.
Yeah, I
Baby
mean,
showers, weddings.
I'm
we
here
do
for it,
all.
but boy, the Fae have other plans for you kids. Sorry. Sorry.
Fuck. You mean we don't have control over
No,
our own
I
lives?
love it. I love it. You can fight against it and I'll just keep dishing out favors. It'll be great.
But we still have favors to pay.
It's
So
the passion.
all right.
One day we'll
So-
go from favors to
It's
party
on the
favors.
cork board.
Yeah, though I do super enjoy that this is a party for 3 plus Kell plus dads, maybe 6 people, and this is like full on wedding style detail and status here. So is there anyone else you're inviting to this goddamn soiree you're putting together? Or is it going to be like a not so intimate dinner party?
we could try to make it capitalistic mindset here.
Yeah.
We could tell Tandy to have a $5 or 5 gold piece cover charge
Oh,
for
wow.
that night, and people are welcome to join us in the courtyard too.
Love it.
Maybe
Will Lou die? if that
take a
happens?
little pressure off of Kell and
Yeah,
the
I think-
family. So
I think this
it's-
will be pretty intense for Kell if he's just looking into this 6-person. Oh boy.
I mean, we could.
I think we should.
That money back.
Yeah,
Uh, you just see like Lou's forehead wrinkle, and she's like, "I gotta get another notebook."
This is not. I don't have enough paper.
Yeah.
Amazing.
she's not. It's not hard to convince her to give her an opportunity to come up with more food and dishes and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll have a cap. You know, there's a capacity for everywhere.
Like 20 people.
Oh, and we could have your car outside, and it could be like advertisement for your food cart.
Exactly. Get the
It's
word
not
around
ready.
town.
It's not ready. It's not ready. I've been busy, and I mean, imagine if they saw it, right? It's not even painted.
You create demand first. You have to create demand first, and then your business will be ready to go. So this is how it starts, okay? Trust me.
Tandy's like, yay, fine, let's put up signs. So you say that, like, yay. Like with permanent marker. Oh my God.
It's not the biggest courtyard, so we can't have 50 people back there or
Have
anything.
fun.
But
50 would probably be your max, your absolute max. And that's packed to the gills.
yeah, but we're keeping it. I mean, we're trying to be a little exclusive.
20.
Really, 20 to 30 people at a time.
So, like,
can be in,
exclusive
create a
garden
line
club.
outside.
Love this. We're going to need a name for this
Yes.
courtyard. Think about it, Nassim. We're going to need a name for the venue. Cool. So, all right. So we have so we're going to open it up and maybe there'll be other folks coming through, bar regulars probably, to start things out, because this is very little notice. You're putting it together on the weekend during the week. So you probably won't get a huge turnout, but maybe just a way to show off the space. If anything else. Okay.
It's a soft launch.
Soft launch. Yeah. Nice. So yeah, you get everything in place and the evening rolls around. And yeah, you all see, so Tony and Lou, you haven't met Kell. You all have met Bert and Ernie though at this point. Yes?
Tony hasn't.
Yeah, Tony was off saving an alicorn.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, then you all are set up and music is going from somewhere. One of Tandy's friends showed up with a guitar and is playing in a corner. You're not sure what the situation is, but Tandy seems to know them really well. So they're just playing in a corner. And yeah, the lights are up and it's it's nice twilight evening. The party atmosphere is starting to go. You all are set up and you see Bert walks in, and Bert, so Nassim, for Tony's benefit, is a very rotund gentleman, probably a human gentleman, maybe in his late 50s, 60s, salt and pepper hair, dressed in just vivid blue, eye-catching clothing, like strides into the place, and you can see his cheeks are already red with glee and just looking around with these like twinkling blue eyes around the space. And standing beside him is a very, very tall, like 6.5 feet, like wood elf, tan skin, very severe looking gentleman wearing green and who has a weapon strung across his back at a party, has a longbow, whatever, walks into the space, and he's right behind this other man dressed in blue. And then behind the two of them, you see an even taller, maybe 6.5 feet or so, Furbolg. So I don't know, Tony, if you've ever probably haven't seen them growing up in the Eldred Empire, but it's an individual who has longish, kind of those soft goat ears that go out to either side. He's got like a black, almost faux hawk with a really long lock of hair that just hangs in his face all the time, and he's always flicking out of it, covered in that pale blue furry like fuzz. And he's clearly dressed up for you, Aoife. As you see, he's got a very nice like waistcoat on, and has like a nice collared shirt and a little pocket square of one of the fabrics you recognize that he was like just recently been producing. And he looks in and his head's down a little in that way somebody very tall and who knows they're very tall stoops, looks around as the three move in, and clearly all three of them seem impressed by this setup going on here.
Aoife like practically skips over to them and grabs each of one of their hands and then yanks them over to Lou and Tony and makes introductions feverishly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Are you using mortal names or are you using secret names? I will say Tandy is the only one in this space who's like full on Feifei, so.
She'll use mortal names.
All right. Yeah. So then Bert, who introduces himself just as Bertram, goes, "Oh, my darling, look at you. Oh, Lou, beautiful, beautiful as ever. And what is this? Oh, everything smells delicious. And you, oh my God, you gorgeous giant woman." He comes up to you, Tony. It would be my honor to know your name. I am Bertram, your humble servant. And he like swirls his hat and bows.
Oh, Bert. Oh, do you mind if I call you Bert?
Not at all, not at all. Any name from your lips is like heaven.
Oh, I like you already. Tony gives him like a big, like, forearm to forearm handshake, claps him on the back. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Oh,
and your beautiful
likewise.
family.
Oh, thank you. Yes, yes. My husband and my son, who's just so embarrassed over there. Look at him. Oh, first time meeting a girlfriend. First time. And he says it very loudly and makes sure that everyone knows that he said it. And poor Kell in the corner is just standing there like, I don't know what to do with my body. Yeah.
Oh, sir, can I get you a drink?
I was just going to say. And he looks at you conspiratorially and, bumps you with his elbow and is like, yes, where's the punch?
Come this way. Puts her arm around his shoulders.
Something with
and leads him
bubbles.
to the bar.
Yeah. As he leads off. And the tall, elf follows quietly behind. Oh, that's Ernie. He's not much of a talker, but he is a lot of a looker.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, I knew I would love you from the moment I saw you.
I just love parents. I get along with them. Everyone, I'm so happy you're here. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, it is.
Can't wait to mess with your son in a little bit.
Oh, yes, please. Let's embarrass the hell out of him.
I pour all three of us shots.
Amazing. So that is happening over there. Lou, what are you currently in the process of doing after that introduction?
Yeah, I think she's like always very like flushed, like cannot handle Bert at all. Every time that she meets him, just doesn't know what to say, and doesn't need to say anything because he'll talk through it and it doesn't matter, and he's fine with it. So she just like after he like mentions, or it's mentioned like, oh, we'll embarrass Kell later. She's just like, speaking of embarrassing children, Kell, why don't you come with me? We'll get you a plate fixed up.
Oh, yes, thank you. Lou, right?
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Lou.
We haven't been formally introduced. It's my name is Kell. It's very nice to meet you. And he offers a handshake.
She like reaches out her hand and takes his and like very firmly shakes it and then like holds it for a second too long, like looking right into his eyes, and she's like, all right, come on, let's go get you food. What do you like? Do you eat meat? Gluten-free?
No, whatever's fine. I brought you something. I made these for you, and he holds out a something wrapped in brown like parchment paper. Thank you for welcoming me into your home. He looks around with a question mark.
She smiles at him but goes, as she's opening it, oh, I haven't welcomed you yet. Let's talk a little longer so I can get to know you. And opens up the present. Yeah,
he gives you like faraway eyes, Aoife, over Lou's shoulder after Lou says that. So
Aoife mouths, she's a little intense.
Mm-hmm. He nods. And Lou, so as you unwrap the presents, you see a stack of very nice, like, tea towels made out of a variety of fabrics that have that nice, like, cloth texture, good for, pouring up messes or whatever. And each of them has, like, a little embroidered, like, food item in there. So there's, like, one, like, breakfast item, one, like, lunch item, like a sandwich or whatever. They're very cute and very well made. And then on top is a set of oven mitts that he has put together. And so Aoife mentioned that you didn't want food, so I hope that this is maybe something you can use, and these are some of the fabrics that I've been working on lately. So and if you don't like the embroidery, I can always do something else, just whatever you would. And he goes quiet as you're making a face at him and stops talking and looks very scared for a moment.
She is like this like really angry look on her face, but like if you squint closely, you see her eyes go a little shiny. And she's like, "You made these?"
Yes, I'm sorry. I did. Yeah. Yes, I made them.
This is very thoughtful, and I hope that this is the same kind of consideration that you're going to give Aoife every moment of every day. Thank you.
Yes, I intend to.
No, you will. But...
okay, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Great. Anyway, so is this what you're planning on doing with the rest of your life? This is really good work.
Yes. Thank you.
You don't sound sure. Do you have a 10-year plan?
I mean,
Aoife will swoop in and be like, "Mom!"
Yeah. Oh my god!
Not your mother.
Then stop acting like it, for Christ's sake.
This is my personality. I'm not,
Aoife purses her lips and raises her eyebrows at you.
Would anyone like anything to drink? I think I'm gonna go I would love ladies. And he's walking away towards the bar as he's
Yes, please.
saying this. Yes, good. Okay, leaving the two of you to chat.
Chat.
Aoife. He's very thoughtful. He needs to stand up straight, though.
Yeah, he's a little stooped.
I mean, he'll have confidence one day. Once he starts believing in himself. But, I'll rub off on him, I'm sure.
It is your job, if you're going to continue this relationship, to make sure that his confidence grows. So
dating Lou has got to be so fun.
Be very, very liberal with your kindness and compliments. It's important.
And she'll like smirk very kind of with this kind of like with this hint of danger, and she'll turn around on the ball of her foot very pointedly, and she'll run up to him and she'll give him a pat on the butt, and then she'll look over her shoulder at Lou like this.
And Lou actually just like smiles back at her and goes, "That's important in a relation too, ma'am."
Kell's,
and then she'll like hold it and she'll grab his hand.
What's happening? But I get this is really nice. Yeah, so
Amazing.
I think the evening proceeds pretty well. Kell does his best to be a nice young man. He's clearly identified Lou as like the person he needs to impress. So Lou, I don't know if it gets obnoxious, but at every opportunity he's like, "Oh, do you need something?" Or like, "Here, let me get this for you," or "Can I help you?" He's always there offering to help you carry things. That seems to be his like play, right? Like the I'm gonna be here to help, because he doesn't know how to really talk to you.
She loves it. She puts him to work every single time.
Oh, yeah. So I think, Aoife, you don't actually see Kell very much during this evening, because I think he is just helping and helping. Tony, Bert is great and fucking loves you, and you know everything about his life. And if you'll answer questions, he will ask you everything about your life over the course of the evening.
Oh, if all I get are good vibes, she is reciprocating good vibes, and we are going deep into my family history. I want to know his
he wants
family
to know
history.
everyone. Yeah, he wants to know everything, like what your holidays are like, all the stories of how you grew up, like everything about your family. He loves it. It comes out eventually. He tells you that he was a bard for a very long time in the Empire, so his whole job was collecting stories and traveling around, and so he loves it. He absolutely loves it. And Ernie doesn't say much over the course of the evening, but sticks pretty close to Bert's side, and at a few points compliments your weapons and thinks that it is very admirable that you've done military service, and that seems to be the extent of things he is interested in talking about.
Oh, she's like, I respect that you came here with your trusted weapon too.
Yeah. You
Safer
never know.
with you than sitting somewhere else, and anyone can find it.
Absolutely. And he gives you a nice nod of respect.
Yeah, I know what you want to talk about.
Hell yeah. So the evening rolls on, and I think you have an amazing meal. Obviously, Lou, you've put together just something incredible, and you don't have too many outside guests. I think Tandy at some point starts a fire pit in the corner with maybe 6 or 7 of her friends. There wasn't a fire pit in the corner, but there is sure is one now that they start, and there's songs and interesting smells coming from whatever that circle is doing over the course of the evening. Some good fey weed drifting about. It's a very casual, the dankest magical shit that can be found.
Nice.
There's a drum that starts going at some point. Somebody brought a drum. Maybe there's people from a drum circle. Who knows?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So.
Of course.
Of course. Of course. So yeah, the evening starts winding down. Is there anything in particular, any moments folks wanted to have or spotlight?
I think that go ahead.
I was gonna say at some point Tony's probably wasted enough that she gets up on top of the ring around a fountain in the center of that courtyard and wants to give a champagne toast to the beautiful young couple and their amazing family.
Like a fucking wedding. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she's wasted now. So happy to have met you all here tonight. Thank you to everyone else who's come to the soft opening of the Bushy Bruja. And
there's a from the circle in the corner.
Yes, we are welcoming you all here today. Taste the fine tastings of our chef tonight.
Yeah,
Marnie.
Yeah,
Marnie. Their very own food cart coming to this very location.
Woo!
In the
Tandy
weeks
goes,
to come.
Woo!
Please spread the word. They will cater. You'll have the. I'll do your flower arrangements. Hit us up. We're available for work.
Yeah.
Anyway, cheers.
Woo!
Get drunk, be merry.
Yeah. Rousing cheer at that, and Bert cheers as well. It's very loud.
Pop of champagne.
Woo! Hell yeah.
Oh, Tony life of party at all parties. I think that as Tony finishes up her speech, Lou's kind of gonna slowly yeah, good job, and pull her down and be like, why don't you come help me get more wine from the cellar?
Yes, more wine.
Yay! More people looking. And while you actually indulge that, I'm gonna get more wine. So by all means, though, continue.
Nice.
So as we kind of get into the cellar and we're picking out wine and adding it to a basket, Lou kind of looks over at drunk Tony and she's like, so I feel like maybe you and I I don't know if this is the right time given your state, but why not? Maybe we sometimes have been butting heads a bit, differences in opinions and all that. So I was hoping that maybe we could, I don't know, get to know each other a little bit better in while we have this time. Um, did you have plans for once we figure out this Whistler stuff, and were you gonna go back to the army?
No, didn't really think that far. I kind of was okay with just keep on trucking along in the chicken house. We're making some good money. I was ready to. I mean, I'm on my last year of service with the army, so this is like a nice like a gap year. Let's call it that. And yeah, hopefully eventually if this like Whistler guy gets off our ass, Captain will let me like actually complete my service so that I could get all the stuff that you're promised, the whole reason I did this thing in the first place, lived my family for so long. But anyway,
So
um,
did you, I mean, how did you even really come here? You say it's for your family, or do you have like super big loyalties to the Empire still?
no, no, no. It was more for me. I mean, I've traveled around so much with my family already, and I just wanted to see more of that, and I'm really good at fighting. I mean, maybe not every time we fought together, but like I like it at
No.
least. It's one of the few things I like doing. So I don't really have
Gotcha.
to talk to people. I can just, you know, knock them around a little bit and get them out of my way. That's how I prefer to deal with people. Except for
Got
Bert
it.
and Ernie, man. Those are good guys. I'm having a great time with them. And you guys too. I mean, shit. Butting heads, whatever. It's probably gonna happen again, but uh I'm having a great time with you. Love you, I think.
Oh,
She would
oh.
not be talking this way if she was single, by the way. Yeah.
Lou just kind of looks to the side and she's like, well, I mean, you did really seem to get along with my family. I know that you were.
Love your love that woman. God, I love parents.
I can tell. It seems like you might kind of have some ideas about my family, though. And I was kind of wondering if you plan to keep that to yourself, the ideas that you might have, or if that's something that I need to worry about when you return for your last bit of service.
What you gotta worry about? It's not their business.
Don't you have like oaths or whatever the Eldrin Empire makes you sign up for?
They don't interrogate us every day. And they're really bad at it when they try to too, so. Or at least, in my division, not much really goes too far.
Sounds like they need better management.
It's more like we haven't seen too much of that side of the action, the really political stuff. It's more just like throwing swords and killing rogue fae. I mean, we can't talk about that here.
That would be uncouth.
Terrible idea.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Well, as long as I don't have anything to worry about, then I think that we'll be okay moving forward. It seems like your loyalties lie with the group and your future here. So,
yeah, you guys, you also left. You were doing service. You were doing your time, and you left. We had to we have to think about ourselves too. At some point, we've given plenty of time to them.
yeah, I mean, I could have left whenever. I was just doing a job. I didn't sign up for anything really. But I just think
nice.
if, we continue it seems like things will go smoothly, and who knows, maybe you really seem to be interested in joining my family, so maybe one day.
I can join the family?
Potentially. We'll see just how close-lipped you are, because right now you're not very close-lipped.
She does like the zip motion over her lips.
Okay, well, I'll let Ma know that you're not going to be a problem, and we can move forward from here then. Now,
She bows and holds like
She
two bottles of wine.
Yeah. Awkward.
She's like holding two bottles in either hand, and she bows down to you, like not really knowing what to do next.
Yeah.
Lou like takes the bottles and gives you a look, and she's like, "Don't make it weird."
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, we're not making it weird.
Oh
Get to know
my
each other, but let's
God.
not make it weird. She
Oh.
starts like dancing behind you
I
and
love
mocking
Tony.
you.
I love
Drunk
Tony's
Tony
chaos
is the
energy.
best.
Lou is just like the same reaction a mom has when like a teenager is acting out. It's just like, oh, just come. We came here with a task. We need to focus back up. I didn't. Okay. Here, take. She starts giving wine back, thinking maybe if she fills her hands, it will make it stop.
Yeah. But the dancing continues.
But
Yeah,
she
it does continue.
she cracks a little smile and gathers all her wine. And she's like, "Let's go drink this."
Okay, cutie.
Woo! Love it. Love this. So you head back up with the wine, and I think a real damn good night is had. And I think it's very heartwarming, and it's a nice oasis, between all the stress and the intensity, and you all get to feel a little bit like a weird little family for a while. Yeah, so the night wraps up and you all end up probably asleep wherever, leaving the cleaning for future you to deal with. You made some profit. It seems Tandy didn't collect money from everyone for the cover charge, and people didn't really understand like gold. You make about 12 gold pieces from the folks who came through, and you get some cool stuff like a cool action figure somebody put in the bag, and
Nice.
I'm
some
totally gonna
shiny
put
rocks.
this one piece of gold in a shadow box for our first event that we
Our
threw.
first event, our first income. Yay. Yeah, so you can add that 12 gold. You earned it.
Oh, I will.
I'm sure you spent way more on food or whatever, but most of that with Tandy was like, take whatever you want. So you don't have extreme losses there. But yeah, let's go ahead and figure out what we're gonna do for week 3 here. I think we're gonna get through this one pretty quickly. But week 3, so you've got all the research you need. You're flush with cash. So what is the plan for week 3?
Aoife is definitely spending it doing her homework.
Yeah, her homework for the Chauciana fashion submission.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yes.
I need to get this fucking food truck underway or cart underway, because now I have people asking me about
Yeah.
it and I wasn't ready.
There were signs. There were hand painted signs that a lot of people
I
seem to
didn't
be
make
really
those
curious
signs.
about.
Who made them?
No, apparently the drum circle. You don't know. Tandy's like remarketing, so.
This isn't the colors I wanted. She's just like distressed.
Oh no, and there's a clash.
Tandy gets it.
Yeah, acid, like whatevs, People are talking about it because they're strange. They're bizarre. There's bizarre paper signs posted to the outside of the witch's room. People are like, what is that? What is going on? Okay, so working on the cart. And then, Tony, what were you planning? I think you mentioned maybe carousing this week, or...
Yeah, I wanted to do that for learning more information. We got all our information, and we just had a sick fucking party. So they gotten both of those things out of our system.
The fun of carousing is that you can potentially make contacts. So contacts are people who might prove of some use at some point down the line. So if you want to carouse, you might be able to get a contact in Coven or meet someone who might be able to offer you something later. So when you do downtime again, they'd be like a resource to go to. Otherwise, you can spend time doing... Yeah, because research has been pretty much covered, so you could spend time working. So if you wanted to do bounty jobs with Rook, that's an option. Or what are you thinking?
What if I wanted to work more, not necessarily making potions, but just with my herbalism kit to try and continue to decrease that difficulty rating?
Yeah. So doing
that
like
an
training.
option?
Yeah, so training is absolutely an option.
Yeah.
Yes. So training in the Downtime Rules takes an absurdly long amount of time, but I will say, if you spend 4 solid weeks of downtime learning something, you can master a skill. So you could get proficiency in like a toolkit or proficiency in a skill. So if you want to contribute 1 week towards that at some future date, if you spend 3 more, you can get proficiency in that.
Okay, let's do that.
Nice.
Yeah, training.
Cool. So who wants to any kind of order, or do we want to resolve these pretty quickly?
I think pretty
So
quickly.
you muted Cutie.
Yeah.
Any order is fine with me.
All right. Yeah, so
I'll
we
go
can go
first.
ahead and probably start with you'll go first, Aoife?
Yeah.
All right. So where are you setting up? Are you working on this in the house? So in the chicken hut, the room you made for yourself, or are you working on this in Silk, with Mistress Silk and all of her resources there?
I think she would set up. I think she would. I think she would take this first week while we're here in Coven. Would take the opportunity and set up at in Silk.
Yeah. And this is also like your first official time being back there. So when you do show up, Silk has, as promised, cleared a space for you. So you have like a seamstress's station. And as you go in, you're familiar with the layout and the lounge and area. So when you arrive, you have a station set up in that back office area where there was the main desk and all of the racks of fabric, and you had seen there are about 6 stations set up, and one of them has been cleared out and reserved for you. So you can think of it like a co-working space.
Nice.
Like, this is yours. And you can see 4 of the other desks are filled. And as you step in to this space on like a Monday morning or whatever, Silk obviously greets you and says hi and gives a cursory introduction and then disappears somewhere because she's got 1,000 things to do as a business owner. And you see these other 4 individuals staring back at you as you get situated at this desk. And it becomes very clear to you that everyone in this room is, 1, curious, but 2, not exactly in a friendly way. You are clearly surrounded by professionals who are interested in getting their designs and their work ahead of you. So are there any particular people Aoife has a problem with through the day, or interactions? I feel like I'll leave that up to you, Sage, to decide if there's a clear rival or someone who's giving you a lot of shit, or maybe a friend you managed to make.
Yeah. So there is definitely one other young woman who's like a young tiefling woman about Aoife's age, who they are just so fucking snide to each other. Like, just every interaction is pure daggers between them. It's for no reason. It's for no reason.
Yeah,
but
she's the
they've
Sasuke
just
to
been
your
spending the
Naruto.
day
I understand.
measuring each other. Yeah. Oh yeah, just measuring each other up, like being like, oh well, I wouldn't pick that color, but
oh yeah.
Oh, you're going with that kind of waist on that dress? Oh, well, that's a choice.
Yeah, and I think even worse, probably around the 2nd or 3rd day you're there, Kell comes in to like deliver some fabric and then have lunch with you, and she's like, oh, So you're just sleeping with the fabric guy. Got it. Like that kind of petty shit.
So petty.
What's her name? We gotta give her a okay. So tiefling name, something like we'll think of it, but you gotta come up with a what was it?
Apocrypha.
Apocrypha. Your rival. Apocrypha. Yeah, so she clearly is not stoked you're there. And she seems to be like the young up-and-comer who's like, oh, well, Mistress Silk just hired me on and just hired you on, so clearly one of us has to die. Whereas the other three are like, we've known Mistress Silk for a long time, and we understand that we all have a place in this industry because they all specialize in different things. Whereas the two of you, you're fresh, so the whole world is at your feet and everything is a competition. So clearly
100%.
you've got a rival set up there. But yeah, why don't you go ahead and so the way making an object works, non-magical object, is basically you can make up to 50 gold pieces worth of non-magical objects in a single week, theoretically. So one set of fine clothing, which is definitely what you're aiming for, is about 15 gold pieces. So you can certainly achieve that in a week. So you could stop there at just one outfit, or I would invite you to spend more if you wanted to go up to the 50 gold pieces to make it a real elaborate outfit, or multiple layers, or multiple options. So what are you doing for the week? What are you trying to achieve in the piece you're putting together?
Nice. So I think her first piece that she works on, that she'll spend like a full 50 gold on, is actually going to end up being a gift for Rook, but Rook doesn't know it yet.
Aww.
It's a set of clothes that are made with a bunch of different ways to control the length and like the width of it, so that she can wear them and they'll always change with her body. And so she spends a lot of the time, like the vast majority of the time, like making the design for that, figuring out how things can like be pulled in and cinched and pulled out and expanded. And it's made with these like very sort of like natural earthy tones with like hints of golds, with like very sharp sort of like angular corners, but it's all very like functional and flowy, so that, you know, it's always gonna move with her. And that's the first thing that she works on.
That's sweet as hell. Cute. All right, yeah. So you spend.
Hate it.
Yeah, she's gonna hate it / love it secretly. It'll be a whole thing. Yeah, so you spend your time making this, and of course, Apocrypha the whole time is giving you shit. Like, what is this ugly? Like, why? What is the point of this? Function over fashion, you idiot. You know, that kind of like...
Ew. So stupid.
That high fashion, you know, Devil Wears Prada bullshit, I think, is a lot of your first week there.
100%.
But as long as you persevere and keep to your work, the other seamstresses and Silk seem to take very little to, you know, barest approval notice of you. So you're in that sweet spot of like new job zone here. And Kell just has so much fun that he gets to see you a couple times a week at work. That's super fun.
Oh yeah, it's the best. We have all of our lunches together.
Cute as hell. So yeah, that goes really well. And so you spend the whole week making that ensemble for Rook?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So you have a great week doing so, and you don't have to roll to make non-magical items. It is just something you invest time and resources, and you're proficient. So, boom, boom. And Tony, I think very similar to you. So, are you studying, like in your house? Are you experimenting, or more in a public setting? What's your process? Oh, you're muted.
Given that it's like the start of her endeavor to being proficient, it will start at home. And using the house and the supplies that it can bring
Right.
for me and materials and
So when
stuff
you
like
break
that to
something,
try and
it's
practice.
yeah.
Also, just yeah, exactly. Just try and like memorize certain formulas, like trying to get down the health potion that I just made and make sure I don't forget what I did. The process of learning that, things like that.
Yeah. And I think that's going really well, and I think it's fascinating work. It's nice to be in a low stress environment, I think, doing that, as opposed to whatever the hell you were doing before with the mixology stuff. So you are starting to learn a lot. And luckily the book or the house can summon those like basic books and, you know, the beginner's guide to herbalism and stuff like that. So you have a little more time. So I think the only notable thing that happens is every once in a while, and you're not sure exactly what that's about, but Rook seems to be around a lot. It's like at the end of a day, she'll, you know, tap on your door and be like, did you want to go on a bounty or something tomorrow, or are you going to be doing that stuff?
Do you think you need a hand or something, or
I mean,
I mean, I can join you. I guess I could spare like the day, but
well, I mean, if you're busy, it doesn't. You know, it's just. I was just wondering, and she'll, you know, walk out into the hall and like disappear, and then it'll be like the same kind of thing the next morning. Like,
next
hey,
time I'll join you next time.
Yeah, she'll be like, hey, I'm going out. Do you need anything? Like a snack?
I mean, thanks, but I'm pretty sure the house could get me a snack too. But
Yeah, no, that was stupid. Okay, I'll be.
I know. I just like I don't know. Let's save our money if we can.
Yeah, you know, yeah, for sure. And then it'll be like that. That's it, the interaction for the day. And the next day, she'll be like, "Do you want to like fight sometime? If you not like in a bad way, but like if you wanted to, like with a sword,
Like train.
yeah, not like yeah. If that's or not, you know, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be out. Okay.
Oh no, we could train.
Cool.
Definitely down.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Should I take a break now?
I mean, I don't want to like do if.
I mean, if you're too scared to,
I'm not
you know,
scared.
fight me right now.
You
if
think?
you're
Well,
getting a
okay.
little
Wait.
too
You think you
old
can handle
for me
me?
today?
Oh, sure. Great. Yeah, and she'd love to fight you. She'd love to spar. If
Okay.
you're into that.
Yeah. She takes off her apron or whatever the fuck she's wearing.
Yeah.
Grabs her sword.
Yeah, so it's a lot of those weird kind of interactions. Rook seems to just be hanging around you a lot. And yeah, you'll like spar, get like really sweaty and just yeah, she doesn't seem to know. She clearly wants to spend time with you, but doesn't. It's a lot of that kind of weird stuff through the week. I think is happening. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, Tony's like kind of entertained by it, but also it is endearing and wants to give her some time too. It's like, yeah, like let's try and be a better team with each other at least. So
Yeah.
slowly we are spending more time and probably having longer and longer even though they're brief and that's that small talk. What are you doing today? I don't know. What are you doing today?
Yeah. It's that like
expands every day a little bit.
Yeah, it's that same familiar sense that you got used to when you were doing army training, when it's being around people of action right? Who that is their whole life is about that. You recognize that absolutely in Rook, and Rook has clearly never been one for long conversations, but you, more than anyone else, she seems to relate to and enjoys spending time with you. Whatever that means.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's something that intersperses your week.
Tony definitely likes being around her more as an adult than as a fellow teen.
Yeah.
As a fellow teen, she can't fucking stand her.
Yeah, and I mean, if you bring that up too, she'll even say, like, yeah, I fucking hate being a teen. God, it's horrible. Like, yep. And she's like, I can't control my brain. I literally cannot control my brain. It's like a fire is on constantly, and there's a knob that goes all the fucking way on or off, like, and that's it. There's no middle settings.
Yeah. Just heads up, everyone listening and at chat right now. Every time Tony talks to another female, both Sage and Katie are just like popping off in chat, like, ooh, get it, like love triangle.
It's amazing. It's
what?
amazing.
I can't just talk to another girl?
No.
Date. Hell yeah. So you
be in love, make it beautiful.
So you learn a lot, and you grow a little closer to Rook over the course of the week, and it's great. And then Lou, we come to you. So what are you spending the week doing? Because there's a lot of work to be done on this truck, quite honestly. So where are you even starting?
Well, Celeste, you're telling me. So I think first of all, the beginning of the week is just spent back at the chicken hut since I have unlimited ingredients. And just like literally like people have started trying to like go in through windows at this point, because every time they walk through the front and I have a vantage plate from the kitchen, I'm like, oh good, come and try this. Oh, I hope you're hungry. I have like 18 variations of this Christini that I have a lot of like really
actors and street performers who have started to hang around you. Because you're just always offering free food.
Yes. And eventually she'll become satisfied enough with the menu. So she's going to work on making her cart what it is, because at this point, Tandy is finally like returned the cart with the upgrades that she had requested.
Yeah.
And now it's time to customize.
Great.
Give
me the look. Like, what is at the end of the week? I think you're probably finally ready for business at the end of this week. So what is the look we're seeing now?
So now the cart has kind of a color scheme of lavender, like a light toned wood, and like sage green. It has a little chimney on the side because she requested that it be fireproof, and that she can have a working oven and stove and everything. So there's just a constant little plume of smoke coming from the top. And at the order window, there's a little box of fresh herbs that every time she plucks from it, it just grows back anew. And she's got a little witch's brew symbol in the front with a bunch of lavender and thyme leaves and a little wreath around it. And of course she asked Tandy to arrange some kind of like animal to hook it up to so that she can take it places. So she has come back with just this massive, clearly Feywild touch goat that just has the world's fattest udder that is just like almost dragging on the ground, and these giant curly horns, and it's all green with a little beard, and Tandy has placed a hat on it.
Yes, of course.
And it like seemed like it's attached to the cart, but we still don't know if it will actually move.
Right.
So that's where
You've
we're
never
at.
seen this like overburdened udder creature move, but boy does it look glorious and proud standing there next to your cart day in, day out. You don't think it goes to sleep. It just kind of stands there and you're like, I don't know. You've never fed it, but it seems
it's like
fine.
cute at first.
Yeah.
but it becomes a little unnerving the more time you spend with
Yeah, its eyes are just a little too human. You know, if you've ever seen one of those pets that just looks at you and you're just unnerved by just how thoughtful it is. It hasn't spoken, but there's something about it that's just a little too human. But it's fine
Ooh,
at
I
a
hate
glance.
it.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's fine at a glance. Green goat. Incredible. And yeah, I think other than the interruptions and Tandy constantly wanting food and snacks, it's going pretty well, and you actually managed to get a lot of the renovations done. So I'm gonna say this week you don't actually make any money, but you are now officially in a great spot for next time. The truck is up and running. You've got help. You've got everything you need. And you're in great shape. So this is a resource now. If you ever do want to cater an event or whatever this is, getting into a party that way, your truck is ready to go.
Well, I'm going to need one of you guys to solidify a relationship so we can plan that wedding.
Plan
I
a
want to be
wedding.
a proud mom.
Somebody's got to
walk
get
you down
married
the
in this
aisle.
group. My God, no. Damn.
Don't worry
Oh,
about
man.
a thing. I'm so happy to finally have my cart.
Incredible. So,
What did I tell you? You're welcome.
haha. So,
when you know, you know.
when you know, you know. It's been a really great 3 weeks for you all. You had a bunch of downtime. You got some roots, I think, in Coven. It's really starting to feel now, because the events of the first, 15 episodes or so took place over the course of a week and a half, basically. So this was really the 3 weeks spending this time in Coven with each other, with Rook, in this new world, have really done a lot for your individual morales. It's become really clear that this is not only the life that you've had to adopt because of all these extraneous circumstances, but it's a sustainable one in which you can explore passions and grow and have these strange opportunities you never would have had in the mortal realm. And I don't know how you all feel about it, but it's a world of potential is clearly what has opened up before each and every one of you. And that's probably what's on your mind or so in that third week. As you all drift off after 3 weeks of a lot of work and effort, and you have leads and finally somewhere to go, but there is that looming thing on the edge. You only have 1 week left now. 1 week to go find Penny, get this book, and return it to Hecate. Otherwise, who knows what will happen. 1 week. That's hard to avoid. And as you each go to sleep or meditate, you find yourselves swept up into a dream. I think it takes you all quite a bit to realize that the three of you are sharing the same dream. But nevertheless, you are. As you see, and Lou, again, you've now become almost familiar with the sensation of dreaming as you are swept up against your will into this fucking thing, this experience, as you find yourselves in a marble hall of some kind. This great and beautiful hall filled with music and light and laughter as people in beautiful costumes spin about a dance floor. You can't see the musicians from wherever you are because you are surrounded by people in elaborate painted masks, like a masquerade ball, twirling about dancing to the music, lit chandeliers up above in this ceiling that is painted like the night sky. And from wherever you are scattered across this room, you see at the very center of all of these swirling, dancing people is a platform. Like this tall column that's holding up this wooden platform, and a woman, a slight female woman. It's hard to tell what age or other characteristics are about her. She's twirling about her eyes are closed as she seems to be dancing and enjoying the music. And she is dressed in this gorgeous ball gown of pure white that looks like layers of feathers all about her. And her mask is styled like that of a swan as she spins carelessly around and around on this platform. And as you watch her from your vantage point, you can see that there is dust that is starting to crumble from the column that is holding her up way high in the air. We're talking like 90, 100 feet. And you see that the column is starting to decay and crumble below her. And the platform she's dancing on is sinking from one side to the other precariously. And she, just totally immune to it, has no idea that in mere moments she is going to fall. The three of you, dressed in finery, on the edges of the room, have this mass of people dancing and twirling between you and this column. What are you doing? Any of you have a reaction, a thought?
You mean it, Katie?
So it's above us, and it looks like she's gonna fall.
Yeah. So she's
From
in,
above?
she's in the center of the platform. Yeah. So it looks like the platform, she is in the center of the dance floor. All these people are in the way. The platform is crumbling. So the platform is going to crumble. She's going to fall straight down, probably to her death at that height.
Lou's just gonna like look at Aoife and Tony, not really sure if they're real or not.
I don't think you see them
but
yet.
it's just thinking about.
So I think it's...
Oh no, we're in different areas.
So it's
okay.
like you all are... Imagine you're on far corners of this room, right? You don't see each other, so it feels like you're alone, and all these masked dancing people are around you. So it's like you all are individually experiencing this dream, but you all happen to be in the same place.
Yeah, so Lou will just start running towards the pillar, just like ignoring, the decorum that you should have in an event like this, and just be like yelling to this woman, "It's gonna fall! You need to get off!" And is just making her way towards the pillar.
Yeah, so as you start pushing through this mass of people trying to get in there and yelling, Lou, you find yourself swept up as somebody grabs your hand, and you find yourself twirling in a move as somebody has grabbed hold of you. And you see, you don't know how you can tell this because the figure in front of you is masked, and masked in this very elaborate mask painted like stars in the sky, and she's dressed in this gown of pure dawn and light, and somehow you know this is Hecate as she takes hold of you, and you begin to twirl about the floor, or almost ensorcelled by what she's doing as your movements become distracted, quite honestly. And she leans in and says, "It has been so long since I've danced with anyone. Please stay a little while." What do you do?
I can't. I have to go help her, and she's just like trying to get her arms out, and she's just like, "I'm sorry, I have to go."
What kind of skill are you using to get out of here? Is this like, are you doing it subtly? Is this something like performance, or are you like an intimidation, or you're like, no, we're out, like an acrobatics, like just throw this woman off?
Yeah. I mean, Lou doesn't have any tact, so she's not going to try to like speak her way out of it beyond a polite, "I'm sorry, I can't do this right now."
Yeah.
But if she's not immediately let go,
No, you feel
in
yourself
response
swept
to
up
that
in
comment, she's going to,
strong pull.
she's going to definitely try to break free with like an acrobatics, trying to like get her arms out of the clutches.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that for me.
Ooh, no. Okay. That is 11.
Okay. Yeah, so you thrust yourself out of her grasp, and you're like, no, like, why is nobody paying attention to this girl? She's going to fall. And as you throw yourself out, you find yourself swept up again by someone else on the floor. And once again, it's Hekate as she twirls around this space. And you look around, and so many of the masks surrounding you are her. And there's that moment of panic. Tony, Aoife, what are you doing?
I think Tony looks down to see if she has her mother's brooch to try and use one of the charges to command some plants to grow and like build a sort of like canopy for her to jump onto and then climb down.
Yeah, as you look and you look around, you don't see your mother's brooch on you. You are wearing like this gown, this elaborate gown that you never would have worn for yourself. It's so impractical. It holds you down, and you have no weapons on you, and it's like you've been thrust into Renaissance clothing, and you don't have anything that you need on you.
Am I aware that it's a dream at this point, or?
I think you've talked about lucid dreaming a few times, and you have familiarity with it. So I think Tony would probably recognize that this is a dream.
Okay. She then is probably just gonna look around and do like a, I don't know, I really don't have a good investigation.
Give like a
But maybe
perception.
anyway.
Let you just get a gaze around the room.
Yeah, mostly just try and take note of what's happening. What am I seeing in this dream? Like, when you do first realize
Yeah,
you're
you're like,
dreaming, you're
what
like,
is going
why
on?
am I here?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
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 Go ahead. Go for it.
That's 16.
Okay. Yeah, you realize where you are, I think, with that 16, and you land and you're like, oh, this is a dream. Okay, I'm stuck in a dream. And as you're looking around the space, you see for the first time, you see Lou at the far side of the room fighting with someone who looks very familiar to you. You can't quite tell, but like this guise of night, and it reminds you so much of Hekate, and you see Lou struggling against whatever this is. And on the far side of the room, you see Aoife there, and clearly neither of them have noticed you. And this figure up on this pillar continues to spin and spin, and you see dust like shaking and falling as cracks have formed in the platform up above. And the faces in this crowd, even though they are covered in masks, they all seem to be somehow familiar to you. And as you're looking around, you feel a hand like land on your forearm, and the person across from you, who is masked in this very like cavalier soldier sort of mask and uniform of red velvet, you recognize as Rook, as she takes a hand and bows. Will you have this dance?
I don't think I should. Rook, are you dreaming too? She tries to talk to her first.
Yeah, and you see the figure beyond blinks, not in a way of human recognition, but in a way that feels like she's part of the dream. She's not real the same way you're real.
Rook, I think we should help that dancer up there and Lou, who seems to be struggling over there. Can you help me?
I can help. I can help you do anything, as she says, and grasps your hand and pulls you in close.
Okay. Lou will try and twirl them over towards the pillar and towards Lou.
And you start to twirl and to twirl. And Aoife, what are you doing?
Aoife, taking in this scene, seeing that this woman looks like as if she's going to plummet to her death, she's going to gather up the train of her ball gown, and then she's going to wrap it up and then thrust it out, and as if a bit of dream logic, and as if using her sort of performance of creation where she can summon things right from pure ether. You almost hear this, like the sound of a person dragging their finger down a keyboard, hitting every single note, as she thrusts out this 15-foot basically rope towards this woman, made out of like the train of her dress, to hopefully try and toss it to her to give her a lifeline.
Yeah. And you throw it outward, and you see a figure, before it can reach that final platform, catches it in the crowd. And this figure is a tall human man, gaunt, slightly salt and pepper hair, lifts up a mask as he catches it in one hand, and you recognize the face of Whistler, Krillin from so very long ago, who catches the train and tugs you with it, like closer into this crowd. And as like he's trying to reel you in this moment, suddenly he falters as someone seems to slap him with like the edge of one of these like Renaissance fans, just like right in the face. And he bursts into like a cloud of silver. He's just gone. Whistler is gone. And you see this dragon-headed figure that you've seen before in your dreams when the Nuska first came to the house. And he takes up the rest of your train and kind of walks towards you in the center. And he says, "Are you ready to stop all of this?" And offers you the train.
She takes a moment, she spits at where Whistler's image was just a moment before, and she says, "I'll remember the feckin' name." And then she looks up to this dragon-faced individual, and she says, with boldly, with no hesitation, "I am," as she like holds out her arms to receive.
He offers like his clawed hand to yours to join in a waltz. Do you accept?
Yeah, and she will immediately get swept into it.
And as the music changes into the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 of the waltz, all of you, I think, find yourselves in this whatever struggles you seem to be in, whether it's facing the same dancer or the same dancer over again, or a friend who just won't quite let you go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, swept up in the waltz, and you see this pillar crumbling and crumbling at the center of the room as you're trying to make your way closer and closer. And this dragon-headed figure says to you, "Aoife, it's happening. The dance. All the pawns are in play. Each and every one in the dance. Watch them, Aoife. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, watch them. No one is immune from the dance. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Watch them dance."
And she'll do her damnedest to mark every detail, every glimpse of a face, every small thing, every notable locket or piece of jewelry. Tries desperately to commit it to memory.
And he looks at you, and his eyes are a pure pool of reflective silver. And he nods. And the dream ends. And so does our episode. So thank you everybody so much for joining us for episode 20 of the Venture Maidens. We are thrilled to have you here. Hey Raiders, sorry we're right at the end here. But thank you so much everybody for joining us for a little extra long episode. So thank you so much. Before we go, obviously we are going to be back here in 2 weeks. We are now going to be streaming at a new time, so you can expect to see us here 6 p.m. Pacific moving forward for every episode. So we're moving things up a little earlier to make things easier for our East Coast friends. So 6 p.m. next week, we'll be back on the 15th. And Sage, tell the folks where they can find us on the 8th, huh?
Indeed. So next week here at 6:30 p.m. PST, I am running Urban Shadows campaign, powered by the Apocalypse system, this 2d6 system, which is all very focused on collecting and amassing and spending debts in like a very, modern scene. It takes place in the year 2050 in Los Angeles, California, along with a host of vampires and werewolves and mages who all live and operate in this dystopian city of Los Angeles. So catch us. We have a spectacular cast of individuals, and our session 0 and our session 1 are up on YouTube on the Venture Maidens YouTube channel, where you can catch up. So we're only at the second episode of this 10 episode season, so you're fresh, you're hot, you're in it.
Yeah, it's all fresh, it's all hot, coming to you live. Hell yeah. Awesome, friends. Any other news before we do a Patreon? No?
Yeah. I will be, if anyone is interested in some family-friendly content, I will be on the dungeon run where our raiders just came
raided.
from.
Oh, hey!
Yeah,
hey, guys.
Next week. Yes, it is at the same time, unfortunately, so no worries. Make it if you can, or if you just want to see something new with children who can watch it too. That's all.
Yeah, catch the VODs and everything. Check out definitely the Dungeon Run channel. Hell yeah. And
they do have a YouTube channel, so if you're not going to see it live, go check out that.
Yeah. Make sure to subscribe, follow all the YouTube channels for both Venture Maidens and Dungeon Run. And yeah, if you like this content, please do consider giving us a subscribe, a follow. Make sure to follow Venture Maidens on social media everywhere, because our Venture Maidens campaign guide, the community PDF, is going to be coming out so soon. And we are going to be wanting mega feedback from you all. And of course, join our Discord if you are interested in playing through some of that content. We've got some looking for group channels popping up and other cool stuff to make that all happen. So be there. It's great. If you really love the channel, please consider subscribing, donating to our Patreon. Patreon is a website where you can donate monthly to the creators you love, anywhere from as like $1 a month to up to $50. We have great tiers and rewards for every donor. So we like to take some time every episode to say thank you to our $25 and higher donor tiers. So let's go around and do that. Thank you so much, Cody Becker at Cody Rolls for on Twitter.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Curry. Oh, and thanks for my cat too.
Oh,
thank you, Muffin at the one on Drury Lane.
Thank you so much, Nissa McKinnon.
Thank you, Richie113 from our Discord server.
And our Farrah's drinking mate tier. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Markali.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, Fable.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, Tony, who's hanging out in chat and was stoked that we got some Tony time, specifically. So thank you all so much. You all have been amazing. I have been your Dungeon Master, Celeste Conowitch.
I am Katie, and I played Luveri Sath, your Drow Rogue.
I'm Nassim, and I played your half-orc fighter, Tony Silvertail.
And I'm Sage, and I have been your boyfriend, Heaven Bard, Aoife Flannery.
Boyfriend Bard. Well, thank you so much, Raiders, for joining us last minute. We're the Venture Maidens. We play D&D 5th edition. You can catch our stuff on YouTube and, of course, the VODs here and in podcast form, wherever podcasts are free, which is everywhere. So thank you for being here. I hope you'll check out our content. But until then, everybody... Venture away, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night. Bye-bye.